Podcasting from their dining room table in
Way-ho.
California, it's the Stonebergs with Dave Stone and Katie Strandberg. Get it? Advice and encouragement from two goofballs who can barely run their own lives. Call now at 562-548-2012 to be a part of the show. Now welcome, the Stonebergs.
It's us. I'm Dave Stone. That's Katie Strandberg.
Hello.
Together, we are the Stonebergs.
We are. It's
you get
great.
it?
It's great. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a very hot minute,
It's
boo.
been about... I don't have tracker time.
been a
Hello,
while.
boo. Hello.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2024.
Uh-huh.
That's it. We're doing it
That's right.
already.
Yeah. It's a new year. It's a new year for chasing dreams.
It is. I love dreams.
New year, new opportunity.
What's your New Year's resolution?
I don't have one. I never make them.
I know.
I always make mine in like August.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just, it's easier to manage.
I had a friend from one of my improv classes, one of many. What did she do? Oh, she would really do a New Year's resolution, like no sugar for the whole year. And she completed it.
Really?
Or no soda for the whole year. I knew her for 3 years. And there was another one, like no nail polish or something weird.
When you do something like that and you complete it, what happens the next year?
I don't know. I think it's one of those like type A people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. She lives in Burbank. Nice lady.
Well, how about that?
Okay.
Um,
We're off to a
Great story.
New Year's start.
What's going on? But it has been a while. We have not done an episode
yeah.
since Halloween.
I know.
We took 1/6 of the year off.
A little bit. Yeah, we went on vacay.
Yeah, it was just it was a crazy November and December.
It was a wild ride.
So I don't know where to begin. It all started with BravoCon. That began our downfall.
Yeah.
Not downfall.
No,
but
it
like,
was a downfall.
I think after BravoCon, we're like, let's just go ahead and take the rest of the year off.
So BravoCon was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. However, post BravoCon, I got the COVID.
We both got the COVID.
And then you got the COVID.
Yeah, you got it. I think you got it in Vegas.
I absolutely did.
You started getting sick the minute we showed up.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't having a great time, but I was showing up to that convention,
You soldiered
which I
on.
knew it was a convention
Yeah.
after you told me.
Yeah, you didn't know what the con meant in BravoCon.
Just thought.
Bravo convict?
I came back.
Bravo
and
construction? Nope.
I was like, it felt like almost like, and you were like, convention?
No, you're the one that said, you're like, this feels almost like a convention. And I'm like, no shit. Convention. But you had a good time.
I had such a good time.
Yeah?
I learned a lot about the Bravo universe.
Now, am I talking out of school if I say that maybe BravoCon soured you a little bit on the whole Bravo culture?
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to beat the hand that feeds me.
Yeah, you don't want to punch a horse in the mouth. I understand.
But it kind of did.
Yeah?
Here's the thing.
How
It's
so?
like I went to Disneyland. And there was Mickey and Minnie, and they were all dressed up, and the pretty princesses, and then they didn't take off their heads. And I wanted them to take off their heads.
I don't
Does that make
understand. I thought you were going the other way. It's like if you go to Disneyland and you see Mickey Mouse taking a cigarette break without his head.
I would love that.
You would like
see,
that.
I thought I was going to see like behind the scenes more. Like I wanted to see these people as real. And they're not. What I learned, hi Harvey, is they're not that, and they're not that interesting regarding interviews.
Uh-huh. Wow, you're telling me the Bravo celebrities aren't very interesting
Well,
when they have to go off script.
first of all, they open up their lives. So, hello, that's a big deal, right? But yeah, when they were asked questions, I think the network wouldn't allow them to give spoilers.
It's kind of like when an athlete does an interview after the game, or a coach. It's never interesting. They never say anything worth a damn. It's all the same 12 cliches, hey, we're just taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
You know, it's really a team win. Like, say something from the heart.
That's what it was like. It
Give
was
me
like,
some tea.
oh, yeah, I need to know some dirt. There's so much dirt. We had Shannon from the OC Housewives that got a DUI. Hello.
They didn't even bring that up?
Didn't bring it up. Scandival. I mean, you know, that was just...
You all right, Harvey?
Harvey just ruined life. No, but it was a lot of... So, what do you have in, store for this season? I hear it's really good. Well, you'll have to see.
Yeah, great answer.
And I wanted to know. I just wanted to know more. But you know what? It was beautiful.
What was your favorite part?
The cardboard cutouts of the housewives.
Did you steal one?
No. They were posters. They were like really stuck on the wall. Not that I looked.
Now, what was your main objective going into BravoCon, and did you achieve that? Was there someone you wanted to see live or meet or a certain segment?
Well, here's the thing. I got stage fright. I was nervous.
But you weren't even on stage.
To approach them.
Oh, okay.
They're like unicorns in the mist, you know?
All right, and we've
Okay.
talked about this before,
We
but
have.
like the fact that you get nervous around, like, I'm not gonna go into the whole thing about like what do they?
Sure, I know.
They're not artists. They're not actors. They're
well,
not musicians. Like,
Okay.
what
They
is
were
it?
nominated for Creative Arts Emmy.
But no, I
so-
get like if
Okay.
you're a music fan and you see Bob Dylan, you might be like, oh God, that's a living legend. He's achieved so much. He's so talented. Why the cold feet about these goobers?
Because I've seen them for over 9 years or 10, sometimes 11. And I just feel like it's like meeting your heroes, but seeing them in person. And then I just got crazy. Like there was a Q&A at each panel. At the end of each panel, audience members can run up there and ask a question.
And you didn't partake?
I had about 30 questions that I planned, and I just sat. It was weird. I became emo Katie. Like it was like
Froze.
school. I froze. I just froze. And the questions weren't good.
No.
And honestly, here's my thing. I was hoping to ask a question, and then Andy Cohen see me and is like, "Who's this hilarious?"
You were going to get discovered at BravoCon.
Well, not discovered, but like, hey, do you want a PA job? You seem fun. I'm fun, and I'm good at moving things.
You're so much more interesting than any of those ladies.
Thank you so much.
I mean,
but, like,
obviously I'm biased, but like,
You
because you're a
are.
real person and you're funny.
Yeah.
And you're interesting.
Well, thank you, but not really. Not compared to Tamra
Really?
Judge. Yeah.
Who's the one person you wanted to see the most? Hey,
There's
Harvey.
Harps. Okay, I really wanted to see Countess Luann, but instead I bought, well, they had a BravoCon bazaar. So it was great. You could go and buy all the things that they're hawking on their TV because a lot of the housewives have brand deals and all that. So I spent $5 on a sticker about this big
Okay.
on Luann's catchphrase, which is, be cool. Don't be all uncool.
That's her catchphrase.
Yeah.
She come up with that?
Well, yeah, it was off the top of her head.
That's gold. I understand why you're so enamored. Now, who is this again?
If you saw one of your Freddie Free Fuck or who stuff, what's that guy's name? Freddie Freeman.
I'm not a Freddie Freeman fan anymore.
But if you saw him in the wild, would
Yeah.
you say hello?
Well, it depends. Depends on the
Would you
circumstance.
be sad if
We
he
were just
wasn't-
talking about off air. I saw Paul Giamatti at Amoeba, and I wanted to approach him, but I also didn't want to be the guy annoying the celebrity in public. So I let him be.
What would you have said? Like, pretend I'm Paul Giamatti. Look at me. I'm looking at records. I'm mad at wine.
What's a good wine I should drink? Like the guy who can't differentiate from his characters.
Oh. And then he scurries away.
Are you still mad at the guy from Wings?
I never watched Wings.
It was okay. It was a sitcom, late 80s. What's his name? The other guy in Sideways was one of the stars of that. I don't know if he's a star, but he was a pretty big character. You know what I'm talking about? I forgot the actor's name.
No.
The other guy in Sideways, his friend.
Oh, yeah.
That guy
The guy
was in
that gets a
Wings.
broken nose?
Yeah.
Okay. Harvey's just loving it.
So,
up
you
here.
all right, buddy?
He's having a tough time.
What is this?
Well, yeah. So BravoCon wasn't. My expectations were very high, and then I didn't realize that I was invited to the things at night.
Okay.
There were award shows and like late night panels and people dressed up, and I thought that was just for like the VIP guests.
Yeah.
because it said you had to RSVP,
Uh-huh.
and that was for everybody. and I could have
You
gone
missed out on all
easily.
that?
I did.
But you were going pretty hard.
Every day. It was like I was going to work.
Mm-hmm. You were focused.
I was focused.
I like to see that drive in you.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was a good walk.
Yeah.
I had fun, but yes, we got home and sickness ensued.
Yeah, we both got COVID. It hit you harder than it hit me.
Oh my God.
I tested positive, and then like 3 days later, I tested negative. So I just had a small bout.
You honestly can just bounce back from anything.
Well,
it's insane.
Now I'm recovering. I got the flu or something after Christmas, and I'm recovering from that. But I feel better now. But yeah, so we started with BravoCon after our last episode.
So that's the fall starts.
Then we got COVID. I had to cancel the tour.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so apologies, anybody in wherever I was supposed to be, Johnson City, Raleigh,
Oh, I forgot you canceled.
Greenville. I had to cancel that run. So that was a bummer. But then I got better, and a few weeks later went on another tour. There he goes.
There he
He's going
is.
to fall.
He's okay. Harvey's getting up on his puffet. Tuff it?
I'm up here.
Tuff it.
So I went on tour in December, the Goofball Run.
Aw.
Myself, Ryan Singer, Jeff Tate, and Gilbert Lowen.
How'd it go?
It was a taxing one. I mean, it was a long tour. Not a long tour,
Yeah.
but by my current standards, it's long. I usually now, at my ripe old age, 2 weeks is about the max. I like a good 10-day to 14-day run.
I like that too.
You know?
Not that I want you. I'm like, I like that too. Go away. No, but yeah, 2 weeks is kind of the max.
But with all the driving, we started in New Orleans. So the other guys flew into New Orleans, and instead of renting a car, with a group endeavor, you got to be a little more economical than like when it's just myself.
Right.
Not to get too inside baseball, but I'm finally at the point where I can make a decent wage when I'm just out there by myself on tour and do pretty good. But with this one, splitting everything 4 ways, I was like, 2.5 weeks of a rental car is going to put a dent in our, surplus there. So I decided to drive my car. So what that meant was I had to start the tour by leaving LA and driving directly to New Orleans.
Now, what
So I did
number of like going across the country is this?
Well, I think this would have been 25 or 26.
Oh.
Yeah. When I say cross country, I just mean from West Coast time zone to East Coast time zone or vice versa. It doesn't necessarily have to be literally coast to coast. But in terms of driving from California to New Orleans or Georgia or something like that, or back, I think that was number 25.
Oh, my God.
And that's all, by the way, just been in the last 12 years. Never took one of those trips till I moved out here.
Wow.
So in the last 12 years, I've driven across the country, for better or worse, 25 times.
Holy crap.
So that's how the tour started. So it took me 4 days to get there, and that was a pain in the ass. Got a cracked windshield on the second day.
Yeah.
Truck, big gravel truck, just smashed. Not smashed, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but cracked it. Not like the little starburst, but just an actual crack.
Okay.
And it started off about 6 inches, and like 2 days later, it was like 3 feet. So had to get that fixed in New Orleans. Then I met up with the guys, and then we did 8 cities cross country, ending in Fort Collins, Colorado. So, no, it was a lot of fun, except for the middle part, which I'll get to in a minute. But, yeah, started in New Orleans, took the guys to Pesh.
Ooh.
We've talked about Pesh before.
Fancy fish.
Maybe.
Fancy.
I know I say this about a lot of restaurants. It might be number 1 now on my current power rankings of favorite places to eat. Like if I was getting executed tonight,
You always
and
do
I could
this.
go have one meal out anywhere, it'd probably be Pesh.
Well, you say that about every restaurant.
Not
and you
every
really,
restaurant.
Yes,
About
huh?
5 or 6 restaurants.
Every time you get obsessed with a restaurant, it's the best. And
But you've had this.
No, you're right, and it is.
And the guys had never been. So
you were like showing off.
Yeah.
Did you know the servers?
no, but
Oh,
like
okay.
by the end of the meal, we were all chummy. They sat us in the back of the corner. It was like a mafia meeting.
Oh my gosh.
I just kept ordering and stuff we've never even had when we go there. Like I got the spicy ground shrimp noodles,
Ooh.
like homemade
I didn't
pasta
even know they
with
did
like a
noodles.
spice. Yeah. Oh my god. Fish sticks, just regular old like kind of fish and chips style,
Okay.
but just like beer battered fish sticks. Got the oysters. Got the whole grilled redfish. Oh my god! Fried oysters. It was absolutely insane. So that's how the tour started. So that was fun.
So a beautiful start.
Yeah, beautiful start. Good shows in New Orleans, Lafayette, Bryan, Texas. Then we had a few days off, made our way, spent a day in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That was beautiful. Did some Christmas shopping for you there.
I know.
But yeah, everything was going good. And then about midway through the tour, I mean, I don't want to.
No, it's all right. No, you have to share.
Don't want to bring the vibe down, but I can't not mention it. One of my best pals, one of my absolute best pals in the world, Kenny Deforest, passed away. It was in the middle of the tour. We were driving, I think we were driving from Texas to New Mexico, and just one of the guys was like, "Oh, what's this?" It was a GoFundMe for Kenny.
No.
And everybody's like, "What the hell? What's wrong with Kenny?" Well, I guess he was in New York. He was in Brooklyn and riding an e-bike. And I kind of know what those are. I think I've seen those around. But so
they almost look like a motorcycle?
Yeah, kind of cross between a bike and a motorcycle.
Okay.
And at first, the story was he got hit by a car. And then later we learned that he didn't get hit by a car, that maybe, I don't know if his bike malfunctioned or something, but he smashed into a parked car. And the first few days, we were just like, oh, this sucks. You know, he's going to need surgery. And they did a GoFundMe. And
it was brain surgery, right?
Yeah, something with his brain, and everybody who knew anything was just like, "Oh, he's going to be fine." Like he might have a long recovery, and he's going to have a lot of medical bills, and they raised like $170,000 for his medical recovery and all that. And then we're in Trinidad, Colorado. This is like 3 or 4 days after we got the news that he had gotten hurt, and it was the middle of the day, and I'd taken a nap. I was bunking with Jeff. And I'm taking a nap, and I wake up, and all 3 guys are just standing by the door staring at me.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just like, what's up, fellas? And they're like, bad news. So Kenny passed away, and I don't want to get too deep into that because I'll get emotional. But Kenny, and I know people say this about people when they pass away, but, like, Kenny was literally one of the best human beings I'd ever known. You met him. He was at our wedding.
Honestly, I know. I'm going to cry, too.
just one of those guys. Like, and the list is short. I've got a lot of friends that I cherish, but the list is short in terms of, like, no questions asked. I want that guy at my event. Like, whatever we're doing, Kenny's got, like, I mean, the list is very short, and I won't name it. But, like, as far as, like, people that, like, without a doubt, that guy's included, that I want him here.
Yeah.
Kenny was just one of the most positive. And again, I know everybody says this when somebody dies, but like this is so legit. Like,
no, he was special.
Just so positive, so warm. I remember the first time I met Kenny, or the second time. I met him first in 2012 in New York, just doing a show up there. But the first time we really connected was a few years later at the Red Clay Comedy Festival in Atlanta. And it was just one of those, like, oh, we've been best friends our whole lives. And didn't realize it. Like, just one of those guys where we just clicked.
You just instantly, it
just
was
clicked.
Just
like, superficial stuff, of course. Like, we liked the same music, and we had the same taste in comedy and stuff. But even deeper than that, just, I don't know. And I feel like I struggle with this sometimes. And I have other friends that are like this. Ryan Singer's like this, where, like, and you're like this, where, like, I need to be around people like Kenny and you and Ryan because your natural positivity rubs off on me. And it's healing and cathartic. And I always say, you're a vitamin. You're a daily vitamin that I need.
Yeah, I've been a real vitamin lately.
But Kenny was that way, too. He was just one of those people that, you know, and of course, I'm sure he struggled. And we talked about he struggled with depression and other things, but he never let any of that get in the way of his day-to-day. Regardless of what he was going through, he always brought it. And I don't mean he was always on and always joking, even though he was often that way. But he was just so sincere and so genuinely positive and just genuinely tried to see the bright side of every situation or every person. He's one of the few comics that I know that didn't enjoy talking shit about, you know, like there's other.
He would never talk.
There are friends that I have who our relationship is solely based on talking shit about people. And that, you know, that's fun for a few minutes, but big picture, that's not healthy for anyone. But Kenny was just one of those people that, like, never had a bad thing to say about anyone. Things, you know, things are great. Even if they're not, we'll work through it. We'll make them better. And he had gone through a lot recently. You know, he split up with his longtime girlfriend, moved back to New York and was just kind of in a transitional period. And man, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but like, you know,
I want to hear.
Well, Kenny was in strong consideration to be on the tour. This whole Goofball Run tour was my idea. I concocted it months ago. Just, hey, well, you know, some of the bigger comics are doing these group tours and stuff, and I just thought, you know, hey, me and my friends, even though we're not household names, we could put together a 4-man tour that, in terms of quality, would rival anybody's.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm fortunate to be friends with some of the funniest people in the world. And it was Ryan, Jeff. Originally, it was Billy Wayne Davis. That didn't work out. And then when Billy dropped off the tour, I had a couple guys in mind, and Kenny was one of them. And for whatever reason, I invited Gilbert. You know, Gilbert's a great friend and a great comic. And it was just one of those things where we had one spot and flip a coin. You know.
Yeah.
But of course, now I can't help but think, like, had Kenny been on the tour, he wouldn't have been on his bike in New York City. And I know I can't think that way, but
no,
like,
you can't.
You know,
I know.
But just and if you think too hard about those kind of scenarios, it'll drive you crazy. But like, I remember the day that I was trying to figure out who's going to be, like, if I'd have just called Kenny and asked him, well, you know, I don't know. I know you can't think like that, but yeah. So that,
well,
anyway.
And you're not, you know, I feel like I've done that so many times. I think I did that same game with my dad. Remember when I was like, oh, if I only took him to the airport that morning or whatever it is, he wouldn't have broken his hip and then he wouldn't go in the hospital and didn't insert, you know, and it's just, that is such, as we say, stinking thinking, because I'm not God. I'm not in control of my dad's time. You're not in control of Kenny's time, unfortunately. But, yeah, that's a heartbreaker, boo. It's a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
And you can't blame yourself. And yeah, because you're so sweet. You want to help and you want to be there. And I understand that. But loss is hard and you just want answers. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times it's just like, okay, well, what if I did this? But you can't, you know?
Yeah, he was a special dude.
He reminds me of he was just sparkly. Yeah. And I talk about sparkle people where it's just you walk in and they just shine. And I remember seeing him at that concert we went to in Pioneer Town.
Drive-By Truckers.
Right.
One of his favorite bands, one of my favorite bands.
Aw, and he just came in and he was so tall and just even walking in, it was just this, it's like you pop champagne and like it was just this sparkly, kind, wanted everybody to be together, human that just made your heart warm and happy. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget him at the wedding. I'll never forget. I honestly can't believe we're talking in past tense.
Yeah.
And how are you doing with it? And I know you don't like talking about that, but let's go there.
I mean, you know, I don't know what the answer is. Like, I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. But, like, you know, it just, he was just one of those people. Just, I mean.
What was your favorite memory? Do you have, like, a certain one that's, like, sticks out?
Yeah, probably, I was telling you, at Red Clay. This would have probably been 2015, 2016. We were staying at the Highland Inn in Ponce Highland, the same place we had our haunted experience. And there was me and him and a few other guys must have hung out till like 3 a.m. out on the sidewalk, just in front of the hotel, just shooting the shit. And just, you know, you've had those moments where it's like, at that point, like I said, that was only the second time I met him, but it was just one of those like, oh, we're going to be buds for a while. One of those special moments where you meet a new friend.
Oh, yeah.
And you can
it's
just
a love
tell,
affair.
like, oh, you're going to be in my life for a long time.
100%.
And we just clicked. And, you know, like, we texted the day before his accident. Just out of nowhere. Hey, buddy, how's the Stonebergs? And I didn't know if he meant the podcast or us. I was like, well, podcast on hiatus, but Katie and I are doing great. And he was, oh, how's the tour? Where you at? It's like, oh, we're in Texas. Oh, man, tell the other guys I said, hey. And he didn't know that he was in consideration, you know, for the thing. I didn't reach out to him and, you know, but like, even then I was like, man, Nothing against any of the other guys, but it's like, damn it, I wish you were here on this tour with us, because that's a big thing when you tour. Like, obviously, especially with a group tour. I mean, obviously, you want to tour with people who are also, in my case, good at comedy or whatever. If you're in a band, whatever it is, someone who can pull their weight creatively. Mm-hmm. But in any comic or musician will tell you this too. Like, almost as important is who's a good hang.
Yeah.
Because like I was on this tour for 3 weeks with these guys, and we spent 24/7
Yeah,
together.
you spend so much time together.
You're just with each other. Same way a touring band might be. You're just with someone 24/7. The only time they weren't in my line of sight is when I was asleep. But, you're in the car together all day. You're at the venue all night together. You're back at the hotel together. So, like, is this guy a good hang? Are they a good time? Is just as important a question as, are they good at what they do? And, Kenny's the top of the list of that. That's why he was obviously came to mind. Like, who would I want to spend 3 weeks on the road with? Well, and it just, I keep kicking myself for not making that happen. But
you can't do that, though.
I know. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry. Great
dude, will be missed. It's got 2 great specials out on YouTube. Don't You Know Who I Am is the new one. Came out a couple months ago. It's so good. And he had one come out about a year ago called Bad Dreams. If you don't know him, Kenny Deforest, Deforest, Kenny Deforest. Just a shining light, great comedian, better dude, great human being.
Yeah, just...
And he'll be missed.
I'm so sorry.
Other than that, the tour was great.
Anyway, BravoCon. No.
we canceled our show that night. We were in Trinidad, Colorado. That would have been the... I think that would have been 13th.
Oh, Harvey says, miss you, Kenny.
But yeah, we got the news like 3 hours before showtime, and we were all like, we can't go do comedy. Maybe, if it's something else, if you're, in a band or something, you could power through it and just, play guitar and stare at the ground. But like comedy where you have to engage an audience and you're trying to be funny, none of us felt like being funny that night. So, fortunately, we only missed the one show.
No.
We picked back up in Manitou Springs. That's always a highlight of any run that I do in Colorado. We've talked a lot about Manitou Springs, Colorado, but awesome town. Just had a blast.
It looks like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
You sent me pictures, and I was like, what is happening?
Like a winter wonderland.
Okay,
Harvey, you all right, buddy?
He's just having
I'm just glad to be here.
He's having a tizzy.
He's excited. But, the other guys had never been to Manitou Springs, so we had a blast there. Didn't do the incline. I've talked about the Manitou Incline, which is like a mile of stairs up the side of a mountain.
Oof.
But went and looked at it. That was pretty cool.
That's neat.
So I took the guys to this awesome place we've talked about before, Garden of the Gods. Mm-hmm. It's I guess it's like a state park there in Manitou Springs. I think technically it's in Colorado Springs. Those cities neighbor each other. But it's kind of like a smaller Moab, Utah, where there's just these beautiful rock formations. And it was supposed to be, apparently, the Native Americans way back in the day, it was supposed to be a spiritual portal.
Whoa.
And I don't really know what that means.
I love
but
that
it's
crap.
just this mystical, just beautiful place. And sorry about that.
Wow.
And that's right
Someone
up.
gets text messages from their friends.
That's right up Ryan's alley. Ryan Singer loves all that stuff. So me and him went there, and just he just had a blast. And I love that town so much. But
did you feel like, where was the portal? Like,
I
did
don't
you
know.
see
I don't know where within the park it's supposed to be. But
was it a different energy?
I mean, with that kind of stuff, I never know if it's legit or just like my own placebo effect. It was like going into a place that you heard is haunted.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I feel it or am I fabricating these feelings? But regardless, it was a great spot. And so, yeah, other than the bad news right in the middle of the tour, it was a good tour. And
well, you had a busy time. Then you had to drive all the way back.
Drove all the way.
Christmas.
Yeah. And by the way, if anyone ever gets an opportunity, that drive from Denver to L.A. or, Denver to anywhere in Southern California, but it takes me about 2 days. I think it's altogether, it's about a 17-hour drive, and I break it up into 2 days, but just you're going through the Rocky Mountains, then you get into Utah, and it's just so beautiful. Like, probably one of the best 2-day drives I've ever done in all my travels in America, of just so beautiful. Because like I said, getting from here to the East Coast a lot of times is so boring. If you take the 10 I like going the 10 better than the 40. The 40 takes you through like northern Arizona, northern Texas, and Oklahoma is just so boring. The 10 is all right because you go down through New Mexico and El Paso and right along the Mexican border, and that's all right. But a lot of these long drives are just so boring. But that drive from Denver back to L.A. just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, after the tour ended on the 17th, spent 2 days driving back. Pardon me, and then was home for a day.
One day.
One
you
day.
Had 1 day.
One day to
relax.
recover, and then Mom comes to town. So we flew Mom in.
First time in L.A.
First time in L.A.
Time in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Nancy Stone, everybody.
Yeah, second time in California. She flew into L.A. for the wedding, but then we picked her up and drove immediately to Palm Springs, so she didn't really see any of L.A. During the wedding. But
and you were the greatest tour guide. The best. I've never seen you. It was like me at BravoCon. Like you were just going every day. You were traveling the land. I had to check out a couple of days because I needed me time.
Yeah,
I needed to wrap some gifts. I needed to not. I mean, the energy Nancy Stone has. Holy
what
mac.
a motor! You think 74-year-old disabled woman?
Yes.
You think,
naps.
all right, this is going to be a nice leisurely pace. I don't know if she was on Adderall or what, but she was go, 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 go for 5 days straight.
Oh, at least 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
10.
Like our normal routine was I would go pick her up. We put her at the hotel right up the street.
Yeah.
Sunset Towers. She loved it.
She loved it. They treated her well.
Yeah.
I was glad.
Literally, 2 blocks from our place, so I could just walk over there, pick her up, bring her back over here. But usually the schedule was I would pick her up at about noon, and we'd go out and see the sights and do everything during the day. And then at night, wouldn't take her back. She'd come directly here. And then we'd hang here for several hours. And then maybe at 9 or 10 p.m., she was ready to go back. But 5 days in a row of 9, 10-hour days.
Yes.
No dropping her back off at the hotel,
Right.
take a nap. We'll see you in a few hours. Just noon to 10 p.m., 5 days in a row.
Well, I'm not used to parents that love you. Mm-hmm. Because, my parents loved me, I know in their way, but I'm not used to quality time in those increments. Mm-hmm. See, our quality time growing up was 15 minutes max.
Really?
Get out of here, go to your room, and I was fine with that. Kind of go out, can I get a Dr. Pepper, how's it going, get a cheese chunk, and scurry back.
Yeah.
And that was great. Mm-hmm. So 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there. But this was a lot of loving and quality time.
And
is that a Southern thing? You guys love the quality time, I feel.
I never knew it as a Southern thing, but that's just what I
being
knew.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of quality time growing up. Just we call it sitting a spell.
Sitting a spell. What do you mean?
Sitting a spell. Come over and sit a spell.
Just
sit
means
down? Sit and visit. Pull up a chair, crack a Diet Coke, talk about whatever, get caught up. But so-and-so came over and sat a spell.
How long is a spell?
Well, it just depends. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 4 or 5 hours.
But so you don't have a time limit? So people come and sit a spell, and
well, no,
it's just, there you go. You don't get a light?
There's no stopwatch or alarm involved. It's just let the conversation flow, Ugh. But yeah, Mom's big into sitting and catching up.
No, and it was great. Now, I'm not oohing her. I'm oohing sitting a spell. That's so much anxiety. I already feel bad. It's do you bring them lunch? How's it? You're hosting somebody for.
That was the other thing. I was basically a tour guide and an Uber driver.
Yeah, where'd you take her?
For
Burbank.
10 hours a day. One day we went to Beverly Hills. She had to see all the Beverly Hills mansions. She loved that. One day we took her to the mall.
Beverly
That was
Center.
her number one thing. She's coming to Los Angeles. What, you want to go see the observatory? You want to go see the Hollywood sign? You want to go to the beach? I want to go to the mall.
My kind of lady.
You don't have malls where you live?
Christmas Eve, we went to the Beverly Center.
Went to the Beverly Center for about 4 hours.
It was a long time.
That was a
It was
very
a long time. Well, she closed down Bath and Body Works, which I was impressed by.
On Christmas Eve.
Because they were putting the gate down.
Yeah,
at
they pulled it all the way down to not let new customers in. But then they were like,
wheeled it.
I was sitting just over in the food court, and I was watching it all go down. and they had like the security guy who lowered the gate,
Yeah.
and he kept gesturing to the other employees like,
And I
like,
just
get this
see
lady outta
her
here.
like, oh, I have this coupon and this coupon. Like she was the belle of the ball and just rocked it.
Yeah.
And so you can't get mad because she's so excited about the lotions. I get it.
And next time she comes, I'm going to print out a detailed real estate inventory of every house that we come in visual contact with.
Why?
So I can have an answer to the question that was asked about 400 times throughout the weekend. Wonder how much a place like that cost. Every house. Wonder how much that house cost. Wonder how much. I don't know. We could pull in and ask them. Yeah. When you ring the doorbell, excuse me, sir, I know you don't know who I am, but my mother would like to know how much you paid for this house. She must have asked that question 500 times.
She did. She liked the prices of stuff. I just didn't know a lot of the answers, so I would just kind of go quiet.
Yeah.
I noticed I did something kind of weird, and I don't know if your mom probably thinks I'm a little off. Well, but every time I couldn't really hear her because I would be like when we were going, I was pushing her in the Beverly Center, and she would say something, but I wouldn't really hear her, so I would go or woohoo.
Why those responses?
Because I was just trying to be like, I hear ya, but I have no idea what you're saying.
Yep.
And then I would do like a little jig with her wheelchair, which I got a lot of dirty looks for.
From her?
No,
from
from
other people.
ongoing, shoppers just kind of staring. It's fair.
And then not only did we clock in so many hours with her, but then to get her up here, and we've talked about this before, she's in a wheelchair, has been since she was 21 years old. We live on the second floor, so every day you and I had to do some CrossFit.
It was large. It was
Like-
not that she's large. She's very petite.
Yeah.
But yes,
Still, dead weight plus a wheelchair going up essentially 2 flights of stairs because we live on the second floor, but we've got this basically, I think it's 8 or 9 stairs to even get to the staircase.
you have to say 3 staircases for the TaskRabbit.
Yeah.
If anyone's wondering.
Yeah.
Because they will charge you
So
for
just
lying.
our technique was we'd pull her from behind, so she was going up the stairs backwards.
Right.
So I would be behind her, and you would be down below, and in
Holding
unison.
her.
1, 2, 3. Just one step at a time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And we did that 15 plus 8, like 22, 23 stairs.
Well, and it was just hard. Here's the thing when it was hard for me was the end of the night. I am not a night owl. We're getting to the 9 o'clock realm. You know me, going to sleep. But then it was like, hey, wake up from your sleep.
Yeah.
You gotta go move
Yeah.
Nancy downstairs. And it's our fault. We don't have an elevator.
Well,
I don't
and
know.
because there's no parking where she was staying.
Yeah.
It was all valet.
I know.
And
That
even
was bad,
even the
too.
little drop-off spot was so small, and we lived so close that I just would get her and then push her down to our place.
But you had to
And
go
then
up
there's
a
this
hill.
giant hill. So now I'm like going down a hill, like pulling her, trying to keep her from flying off. So it was.
There was one night where I just left you dry. I was so tired. Do you remember that? We got down to the bottom of the stairs and I was like, well, this is where I leave you. Or I said something very weird and I hugged her and left.
Just move it up to. There you go.
Sorry. Having mic issues.
There you go. It's all right.
Whoopsie.
But yeah, it was a fun trip, but it was exhausting.
You just laughed at the end of that.
And
no,
I
it
tricked
was
her.
a fun trip.
I took her to my favorite. I guess you could say now in LA, it's probably my favorite barbecue spot, the Park's Finest, and I've talked about
Were
that
you
a
about
lot.
to say it's your favorite restaurant?
It's,
Because you already said that about a little fish
I said
place.
it's my favorite barbecue
but
spot in
you
Los
you
Angeles.
paused yourself. You were
I mean,
about
it's
to say
it's pretty
restaurant.
great if you're in LA
Yeah,
and you haven't
so
been to the Park's Finest.
Somebody's wishy-washy.
It's so good,
Sunshine Patriot is what you're called,
but it's
I think.
I don't know what that
Sunshine?
means.
Sunshine. You're
Definitely not a patriot.
Sunshine. No.
Anyway, it's Texas style barbecue with a Filipino twist is how they market it. So, but I didn't say, you want to go eat Filipino barbecue? Because that would have been a hard
Oh,
no.
no. She
Not
doesn't
that-
even like avocados.
Yeah, not that she has anything against Filipino people, but
Right.
she's just not a very adventurous eater. So I told her I was taking her to a barbecue place. And then we got in there, And she's like, everybody in here is Asian.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, well, that's
Oh,
because
boy.
this is a Filipino place. And because I knew if I'd have said, let's go eat Filipino barbecue, she'd be like, ah. But she loved it.
Oh.
Of course. It's great. It's incredible. But yeah, I was like, aren't you glad? And she's like, yeah.
Oh.
Like, this is a woman that won't eat guacamole because, quote, looks like puke.
Oh, my gosh.
So you can imagine in terms of ethnic food and different cultures, not super adventurous, but I tricked her into eating Filipino barbecue, and we had a blast. And then had a great Christmas dinner.
Christmas was wondrous.
We had, obviously, Mom was here, and then we had Mark and Virgie over, and boy, they all hit it off.
Okay, so they are best friends and love each other in a real way. Mark and Virgie are my dear, dear friends that happen to be
Neighbors, yeah.
retired, and they're in their 70s. Of course, they're my best friends.
Mid-60s,
I think they are my best friends in LA. I have told Mark that, and I think it freaked him out. So now I have to kind of ease back on the best friendship. But yeah, they came up, and it was just instant connection, like just off to the races.
Long lost pals.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Nico.
It's giving us the keep going.
Keep going.
But yeah, they all had a blast. They hit it off. It was fun to see
It was.
Mom converse with people of her generation,
Yeah.
you know, and also it was nice to be like, see, not everybody that lives in Los Angeles is some hippy dippy
Right.
new age. I mean, and we've talked about that before, but people who have like defined hard opinions on Los Angeles are usually people that have never even been here.
Yeah.
And she was one of those people. She always jokes, "Oh, you're out there with the land of fruit and nuts." And she just thinks that's so funny.
Fruit and nuts.
That's been an old, and I think there's a double entendre there.
Like the fruit.
Well, literally, they grow fruits and nuts here, but a lot
Oh.
of the people out here are
They're
fruity and nutty.
Fruity. My dad
Fruits
would
and
say
nuts.
fruity.
Yeah. But it was nice to let her, and
Yeah,
also like,
experience it.
and just seeing the city and seeing the cool parts, and like, of course, the novelty of going to Beverly Hills and seeing those mansions is one thing, but then like, oh, see, not everybody that lives in Los Angeles is a celebrity millionaire.
Yeah.
Who lives in Beverly Hills. There's a lot of just normal people.
Yeah, Burbank is
in
the
cool
best.
spots,
And
and
oh yeah,
She
I'm
loved
so
Burbank.
glad.
Yeah. Went to Burbank, went all over. So she had a blast, and Christmas dinner was fun. I cooked the whole thing.
You did so great.
I did everything except the meat. We outsourced the meat. We got smoked prime rib from a local barbecue joint. I won't name, not Park's Finest, another one. I won't name them because I don't want to throw them under the bus. But I was a little disappointed in the meat, and I made it very clear, like, hey, I didn't cook the meat.
Yeah.
That's someone else's fault.
Well,
it was okay.
They were in a magical friendship bubble. There was
Yeah.
nothing we could do at that point. Yeah. We were on the outskirts, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I was just sitting with Charlie, exactly like this, and I just watched the whole night. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to do like a toast for my dad since he died on Christmas.
Yeah, we should have.
But I felt like it would have been a bummer.
Yeah.
Because it's like everyone was so happy and great. And then I'm like, hey, can I do a toast? My therapist told me to do this on Christmas in honor of my dad.
And you did great, by the way.
What do you mean?
Well, on Christmas Day, I mean, for context, your father passed away Christmas Day.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
12/31.
2 years ago.
No big deal.
So ever since then, we were both a little concerned how Christmases would go moving forward. But I don't know how you were feeling internally, but you made it through the day. And
I did.
You did well.
I did. I made it through the day. I think it was, oh my gosh, I'm getting all like.
That's all right. That's all right.
Well, yeah, it's been 2 years. I think with Nancy here, it was such a great distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate grief, dude.
I know.
But yeah, I just miss that idiot.
Of course.
He was such an idiot.
I know this sounds cliche, but like I felt his presence.
Yeah.
I felt his spirit, you know.
I
feel it a lot here.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, we have his ashes here. You know? I mean, he's literally here with us.
Allegedly. Just kidding. I don't know who would care.
But no, I know Christmas is has been and will continue to be tough for you, but you did really well. Not that I don't even know what that means. You did really well.
I
Not
don't
that
know.
if you'd have been a crying mess all day, it still would have been fine.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, we've talked about this so many times on the show, but like to lose a parent is tough. But you lost Christmas Day.
my favorite holiday of all time, but I kind of love it. Like, I love that my dad, that was just him. Like, I'm big and bold and I'm going out. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Like, that's just dad.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I will say that I was going to say at Christmas. So now I could do it. I just think a lot of times when,
That's all right. It's okay.
welcome back to the Stonebergs. We're depressed. No, when my dad and I had a very interesting relationship. It was like the ocean, ins and outs. And I think it was interesting because God or the universe or whatever, there was that week before he passed, which I was honored that I was the one taking care of him. I was like, oh, it's me. And I remember just decorating his hospital room for Christmas because had to, and all the nurses loved it, and it was very fun. And he just said, you always make things better. And that's the first time he's ever really given me a compliment.
He was right.
And I just remember being like, and it was from my heart and it was honest. I was like, you too. And so, yeah, that moment will be with me always. And also, he was a jerk at times. So it's funny that he died on Christmas.
I mean, he was a human being. We all have our flaws, but he had a good spirit and he loved you. And
we were a little team there for a while.
But yeah, it's just, you're right. It is very much on brand for him to check out on a major holiday.
Yeah.
And be
Screw you.
Yeah, make it about himself. Job,
You
David.
do it.
Yep.
But yeah, I do have a couple voicemails I listened to that I have saved, and
that's great.
It made me laugh. Like, one of them was just like, "Hey Kate, I'm just sitting here watching Yellowstone. I don't know that in a John Wayne movie. Anyway, me and Jack are here. He's asleep." And then he didn't start crying. So
he would always say that when I would talk to him on the phone. He would say who was. Yeah, me and Jack are here. Or me and David are here.
Yeah, Jack went out. I don't know where he fucking. Oh yeah, school. And David's. Yeah, you always got.
He'd always do a
where
roll
everyone
call.
knew. He knew where everyone was at all times,
Yep.
But yeah, now he's dead. So
Yep.
welcome to Death Podcast.
Welcome
with
back to
Dave
the Stonebergs. Yeah.
But it was a beautiful holiday.
It was. Yeah, and we didn't mean for this hiatus to be so long, but it's just the way things happened with the tours and sickness and the holidays. So we're back at it. Glad to be here. We had a topic. We're probably running low on time. We'll get to that next week. We'll
it's
get to
a good one,
call
too.
next week.
Yes.
But I want to get caught up on some word of mouth. We did watch a bunch of movies over the break. Most recently, the one we watched a few days ago that you have since seen 2 more times.
Yep.
You've seen this movie
I've
three
seen it
times.
3 times now, yes.
In about 4 days.
4 days, yeah.
And that would be
Saltburn.
You're all about it.
I want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the estate. I don't know. It's such a weird movie, but the first time I saw it, I went into it with some negativity.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's not go into it negative, guys. When you watch Saltburn, okay?
We've been burned so many times recently with movies.
You're right.
There's so many movies in the last few years where it's just like you're watching it and then it just ends and you're like, no way is that how it ends.
That's true. Well, and the genre that I love is thriller. So, yeah. But there is a few scenes that were cringe that you have to...
Oh, Lord. If people have seen it, they know what we're
Spoiler,
talking
yeah.
about.
If you know what...
Oh, jeez.
There's a very intense scene where...
What was the gross? Probably the bathtub scene.
You think the bathtub?
I thought I was going to throw up. Just the concept of that.
Of drinking bathwater?
Well, that's always... You didn't know that saying.
I didn't know what
But that was a
F
saying I grew up with.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Well, I mean,
After.
yeah, but there's a detail we're not going to reveal, but like, just, so-and-so so hot, I'd drink her bathwater. And you'd never heard that.
Never.
And I'd always heard it.
Oh, no one ever said it to me.
But even the saying, I would always be like, she'd have to be pretty damn hot for me to drink her bathwater. Like, just...
Would you ever drink bathwater?
No. What? Ugh. But especially... Oh. That particular bathwater that this fella drank.
It was so gross.
Oh,
okay,
God.
so that's
There's
not what I'm
that.
obsessed with, though.
Then there's the encounter out in the courtyard with the gal who was in no position to engage.
It was her monthly.
Oh my God, that scene. And then, and we don't want to reveal this scene or spoil anything, but there's another scene where the main character is so distraught that he
makes love to a grave.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are some parts that I get, but there's just something about it. I don't know. It's because of the director. I love her.
Yeah. What's her name?
Promising Young Woman. Something.
You love her though. She's so good.
You.
That's like my mom used to say. We saw the funniest comedian on TV last night. This is one of the funniest comedians I've seen in years. We laughed from start to finish. I go, what was his name? I don't remember.
Well, anyway, Saltburn is a classic. It's a smash hit, and everyone should see it immediately. And there's a dance at the end.
Yeah, the dance.
There's dancing.
Twirling around.
It's fun. No, but it's a dark one, but it's supposed to be.
Saw another movie that got really hyped up and got great reviews, or at least the ones I saw, and then I thought it sucked. And I don't, I try to temper this. I don't want to be.
No, it's okay.
I hate Mr. Negativity, the guy who doesn't like anything. But
no, this sucked.
May, December. It was a big bowl of who gives a shit.
What? Oh, hey, you're doing something cool. You're doing something. Yeah, we're doing something.
I don't know. Maybe I got to watch it again.
What happened?
I just was so underwhelmed.
I mean,
Loosely,
Julianne Moore is so amazing. She was in that, right?
Yeah, Julianne Moore and what's her name? The girl who always underwhelms me.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. She's fine.
You didn't see Black Swan.
Yeah,
she really delivered.
So that one kind of disappointed me. A show that I've gotten into. Now, it started off strong, and it's been kind of... But it's one of those where I'm like, I'm sticking with it. I know it's going to pay off, and it's getting there. But The Curse.
It is good.
I'm enjoying it. It's a little slow.
A little.
There's a lot of build-up,
and
they got one more episode, so I'm hoping they pay off some stuff big time. But regardless, like the tone, it's a unique show.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy thriller. No, it would be more of a thriller.
I don't know if it's a comedy at all.
Horror?
Yeah, just
horror.
I don't know what psychological thriller maybe.
Ooh, I love that title. Yeah,
Emma Stone, Nathan Fielder, Benny Safdie.
I love
the Safdie brothers from Uncut Gems. Is it Good Time? Is there other one?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't like the
right.
color of the
thing. Yeah, very unique. A lot of weird tension. Some interesting themes, like with gentrification and class stuff.
Oh, and reality TV. And cringe. Like just
yeah, but
I see myself a lot in the
really enjoying
White Lady. So awful.
I don't see you in there. But look up The Curse if you're not familiar with that. I think that one's on Paramount Plus. They got one more episode. In this
I have
season.
to renew that subscription, by the way.
That I've been enjoying. And then a show that I thought initially I would love, because I've loved almost every season, but the first few episodes bored me to tears. But I'm just now getting caught up, and I think I'm on board.
I'm on board.
With,
I am too.
Season 5 of Fargo. What's going on over there? You're getting bombarded.
I just hit my elbow. I'm okay though. Sorry.
Fargo season 5.
Oh yeah, it's getting good.
John Hamm, who I still don't love his character. I don't know if he was the right casting for that character.
Of course he wasn't.
And I can't put my finger on it.
Absolutely
I
not.
like John Hamm, but what's the disconnect there?
He needs to be like a Tommy Lee Jones.
Is he playing too much of a tough guy for him?
He's trying to be John Wayne.
Yeah, and I don't buy it.
Yeah, and the thing, the piercing.
Yeah, he got
the
nipple piercings
which
for
is
no
fine,
reason.
But he's a cowboy.
He's like a cowboy sheriff.
It's just,
and I don't think they have addressed why his character would have that.
Anyway,
I thought maybe that was leading to some weird kink thing. Maybe he's a swinger.
Daiquiris, Don Draper.
But yeah, I just don't know if I'm buying him in that role. But regardless, what's the lady? Juno Temple? She's awesome.
She's awesome. She's so good.
Which you went back and rewatched Dirty John because of her.
Yeah, based on Dr. Death, one of the greatest shows that's ever existed, starring Mandy Moore, season 2, streaming on Peacock.
Those are two different shows.
Nuh-uh. Dr. Death.
Dr. John's about Dr. Death? I mean, Dirty John?
No,
Dirty John's what I'm talking about.
Dirty
That's the
John.
One with Juno
Gotcha.
Temple.
But I just wanted to talk about Dr. Death.
Another show completely. I understand. But she's great in it. And I think they've only got 1 or 2 episodes left to wrap up that season. But The Curse and Fargo are the shows we've been watching. very underwhelmed by May, December. Saltburn, if you can get through without gagging on a couple of the gross spots.
Did you like it? Okay, minus the British.
Well, here's
thing.
the problem.
You don't really like British.
How is that movie not just a reboot of Talented Mr. Ripley?
I mean, it pretty much
it's the
is.
same story, no?
Kind of, yeah. Same.
Very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Well, she was inspired by that.
Yeah.
AKA.
Well, and speaking of which, her other movie,
Promising Young Woman.
what's the gal from that movie?
Carrie Mulligan.
Carrie Mulligan's in this movie, but just like for 2 scenes.
She looks like an Alice in Wonderland character.
She looks great. She was so
Wonderland.
interesting. But like, I know we love her, but like, that was more of a cameo.
Yeah.
I guess she's just doing a favor to her director there. I don't know.
Or she wanted to be a part of the magic of Saltburn and the cast that has so much star power.
But yeah, it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Just
Don't.
just
If
do
you
it.
hate
Do it before
bathwater-
do it before you eat dinner.
And just know the scenes that we spoke of, they're going to be longer than you think. We're not just saying this because it's 15 seconds. It's, they take their time, you know?
That's true.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
Well, it's good to be back, Boo.
So good to be back.
Happy New Year.
Year.
We had a call lined up. We'll get to that next week. If you want to call, we're back to receiving calls 562-548-2012.
In that order.
Got to be in that order. If you mess up the order, you're going to get somebody else.
Screwed.
We can't do anything for you. So 562-548-2012.
Yeah.
Give us a call. Let us know what's going on.
Questions or just comments.
We're glad to be
really.
back. It's a new year, new dreams.
Yeah.
It's a new day.
And I want to know, does anyone want to share their New Year's resolution? That's what I'm going to ask.
You know what my New
That's
Year's
what I'm gonna
resolution is going to be?
ask.
I failed to mention this. Wasn't on any list, any request or list, but you got me a wonderful Christmas present.
What?
You got me an acoustic guitar.
Oh, right.
I'm a guitar guy now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be a guitar comic.
You're going to be, oh, no. I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn to play that damn guitar.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
Because I want to see you with a guitar.
Yeah. I tried playing it. I think I took lessons in high school, and it's always just, I don't know how people's brains work that way. I respect musicians so much that can play any instrument, but especially good. Drums, I kind of got. Drums are a little more primal and pragmatic. That sounds like that. That sounds like that. But like the whole strings and this, the left hand and the right hand, that always has blown my mind. So I just now, the other day, started watching an introduction to a guitar video, and I learned a G chord. So I'm gonna learn. I want to at least learn to play.
Well, and I got you that DVD that came with the guitar, and then the DVD player that you can watch.
Yeah, I got a DVD player.
I mean, what is it? 1997.
Good times. Finally watched my Beatles anthology box set. You can't stream that anywhere. So I was like, I'm gonna get a DVD player just to watch that. And you made that happen. But yeah, got a nice Fender acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
I learned to play Wildwood Flower or something on that, and maybe some old John Prine tunes or something.
That'll be fun. Old-timey cowboy music.
I'm going to pluck and plank on that thing.
I love it.
Get on your nerves.
No.
But
I
what
can't
a fun little hobby.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, and you have to grow your mind.
That's right. I got to grow my mind.
Or, keep fertilizing it. You have to learn something.
I understand. I understand. Give us a call. Let us know what's going on. Again, word of mouth this week. I'm going to R.I.P. Kenny Deforest. 2 great specials on YouTube. Don't You Know Who I Am? And Bad Dreams, and both of them are great. I watched the most recent one, Don't You Know Who I Am, the other day. Just basically like 4 or 5 stories, but just hilarious. That's the other thing about Kenny. Like, I never knew him to be much of a storyteller.
Yeah.
But with this latest special, like I said, it's like 4 or 5 different stories. There's some just material and jokes in there, but it's more of a storytelling type thing, and talks about his dream of being a basketball player. He played basketball in college. Wow. And a great story about the day he learned he's not going to be a pro basketball player. But just so funny. Kenny Deforest, Don't You Know Who I Am? And Bad Dreams. R.I.P. buddy. Go back.
Make God laugh.
If you're a fan of stand-up, I think he's got an album out streaming as well. I don't know if it's one of the same specials or not, but super talented guy. He will be missed. Rest in peace. And
that's my word of mouth too. What if I was like, anyway, there's a Bravo show. Just kidding.
So, be good to your friends.
Yeah.
Let people know you appreciate them.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Because one day they'll be dead, and you won't get a chance to. So,
Happy New Year from the Stonebergs. 562 something something in that order. All right, we love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Do it quick, because we'll all die soon.
Okay, we love you. Bye.
See you next week.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Okay, thank you.